and stay safe. From KCRG TV9, this is First Alert Weather Now.
Good evening and welcome to First Alert Weather Now, the Thursday edition. Been off all week a little bit in terms of what I've been interpreting the day as.
That's fair. I mean, it's one of those weeks, same here. I had to think about it too, but it is Thursday, so happy Thursday to all of you folks out there.
Indeed, that means one more day until Friday and one more day to the weekend after that. But we have been dealing with some pretty nice weather the last couple of days. Hopefully we can keep that going for at least a little bit longer.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, seems like it'll be a good end to the week. Unfortunately, as we get into the weekend, it does seem like we'll have a little bit of a change, which isn't great for folks that have plans, but it doesn't look like it'll be a washout for the entire weekend.
That's true, and we'll get into more detail about that in a little bit, as well as this week's Growers Guide. We've had a lot of rain, and so the big key here is going to be seeing how much we have chipped away at our drought conditions.
Yes, doesn't really impact plants as much now since the growing season is over, but like you mentioned, getting water into the soil is still really important for, as you said, chipping away at that drought.
And we'll take a look at a couple stories from around the country as well. But first, what you need to know as you step outside this evening, not much to worry about. It is reasonably cool outside for this evening and tonight. In fact, we'll probably be headed toward lows by tomorrow morning in about the same range as what we experienced this morning. So a cool start to your Friday with a little bit of patchy fog as a possibility. Probably not something that's going to be too disruptive, but be ready for those changing visibilities as you head out, especially later tonight and during the early morning commute on Friday. The rest of the day, though, on Friday looks really pretty good. I know that we've got playoff football coming later in the evening, and we'll, of course, hear a bit more about that as well in the forecast for fun. More showers are possible this weekend, as AJ alluded to. That's our next storm system that provides that chance. We do have another storm system that provides another chance after that, although the details on that one have been shifting a little bit. Our Dubuque City Cam tonight shows those quiet skies and clear conditions. Temperatures in the 40s right now, but they will fall fairly steadily as winds become lighter. That's that recipe this time of year for a chilly one, and for that potential of a little bit of patchy fog. Lows fall to around 35 degrees. If we're staying above freezing, shouldn't have to worry about any of that fog freezing to any surfaces, which is, of course, a good thing. That can be disruptive to travel, and let's avoid that if we possibly can.
Absolutely. The calmer the commute, the better we can push off the winter weather in terms of driving impacts as long as possible.
Yeah, and we're not quite to winter activity season either. What is coming up this week, though, is featured in this week's Forecast for Fun with meteorologist Joe Winters.
Weekend is fast approaching. Other things, though, you can do later this week. It's all included in our forecast for fun. How about your walking forecast? Friday, I think I'd target Friday. Nice day, 58 degrees, some clouds rolling in from west to east, because by Saturday, some showers are going to move our way. Those showers will be with us then, possibly early on Sunday. Sunday, though, you could get an afternoon walk in as the temperature goes up near 57 degrees. Take a look at Driftless Birding Day. We've been talking about it. Sounds like an exciting day up in Lansing on Saturday. Bird watching, guest speakers, self-guided tours, 53 degrees. Beautiful to get along the bluffs of the Mississippi. If you're into the holiday spirit already, the Holiday Arts Festival at the Waterloo Center for the Arts, Friday and Saturday, it's inside, so as you're outside, 57 on Friday, 53 degrees on Saturday. Don't forget an interesting college football weekend, because the Hawkeyes play UCLA in California at 8 p.m. on Friday. It's a Friday night game with 63 degrees. Iowa State travels to Kansas. That's a traditional Saturday game, 2:30 kickoff. Want to get that winning streak back alive for Iowa State with 56 degrees. And at 1 p.m., that's the kickoff for UNI, Illinois State coming to town. Southeast winds expected at 8 to 16. There will be some rain outside the Unidome on Saturday, but of course inside, while it's covered, the conditions look fine. Looks good for football, though, at UCLA. That 63-degree temperature will be nice. Reminder again, that's Friday. And a reminder again, every day, make sure you check your forecast for fun.
Now, your First Alert forecast with meteorologist AJ Rickman.
And as we have another look outside tonight over Waverly, it's dark. The lights are lighting up all the sidewalks down there. Weather is pretty quiet all around. Winds are light if you're feeling them. They're out of the west, and we do have those temperatures falling through the 40s, and they'll continue to drop tonight through the 40s and into the 30s. Now, like Corey mentioned a little while ago, we are watching for that chance for some patchy fog as we go through the night tonight. That'll be getting into the late overnight, right around dawn tomorrow, a couple hours before to a couple hours after. When we'll have that best chance for seeing that fog. So if you do drive through it in the morning on your way to work and school, just remember, slow down and don't drive with your high beams on. All that does is increase the glare that's shining back in your face. It makes it all the more difficult. So low beams, driving slow, be ready for that fog potential in the morning. We do have high pressure that is set up over top of us tonight, and that is part of the reason that we're getting the potential for that fog. For fog, you need temperatures that'll fall down close to the dew point to get the air saturated. We're going to have that, and we're also going to have pretty calm conditions, which will allow that fog to sort of develop and sit over certain areas through the night. So light winds, plenty cool as we go through the overnight hours as well. Those lows will drop into the mid-30s. 37 in Decorah and Prairie du Chien will be your warmer spots. 34 in Waterloo and Manchester, and then Cedar Rapids sitting at 35. Again, mostly clear skies through the night. Winds will be light out of the north or northwest. And then as we have a look at your day for tomorrow, we are going to be seeing a bit of a transition day. We're going to start off with plenty of sunshine first thing in the morning. Highs tomorrow are going to reach the middle and upper 50s in our northern zone. Farther south you go, you're a little bit warmer, 62 in Oskaloosa, 61 in Washington. But like I mentioned, we're going to be watching for cloud cover to build in gradually as we go through your Friday. By noon, we're seeing mostly sunny skies still, but then partly cloudy is more of the look to the sky that we'll have by the time we get to your sunset hour at 5 p.m. As we get further into your Friday evening and we do have those high school football playoff games going, we're going to be in good shape for those. We're going to be dry, but clouds are going to continue to increase. We're going to be mostly cloudy by the time we get to late Friday night and early Saturday morning. And then it's early Saturday morning, here we are at 7 a.m., that we're going to be watching for that shower activity to start working its way up from the southwest. And then that's going to be impacting our area in eastern Iowa as we get into the noon hour on Saturday, continuing as we get into the afternoon. It'll be generally light and scattered, and then it continues to work its way through. We do start to dry out by the time we get to 9 p.m. Saturday. Now, we are going to be seeing some lighter rainfall totals from this next upcoming event. It's not going to be quite as heavy as what we had over about a week ago, where we had those multiple days of multiple rounds of heavy rain, but generally quarter to a half an inch. So for this weekend, for your Saturday, we're going to be seeing good indoor weather. Go inside, get some chores done around the house, because we're going to be dealing with those showers and clouds through the day. Generally quarter to a half an inch of rain, but then Sunday, those showers will be sticking around through the morning hours. We'll be seeing a drying trend through the afternoon, and with that sun, we'll be warming up just a little bit. And then in your 9-day forecast, again, we're going to be seeing drying out by the time we get to the start of next week, but that next rain chance is going to be on the horizon by the time we get to the start of next week. We're dry, but the middle of next week, Wednesday, is when we see the winds pick up a little bit, as we do have that next storm system that brings us our next rain chance. Highs are in the 50s, which is warmer than average, but we're getting late enough in the year that warmer than average can still feel cool and fall-like.
Yeah, it sure can. With all the rain we've had lately, I've noticed that we've actually seen some of the grass start to green up a little bit.
My yard's greened up a little bit too, and my lawnmower's been put away for the year, so hopefully it doesn't grow too much. I don't want to break it out again.
Yeah, I fully respect that. It's a little bit late in the year for that kind of business.
Yeah.
But we are still, of course, always cognizant of agricultural concerns around the state here in Iowa. And Justin Roberts has this week's edition of your Grower's Guide.
Well, in our latest Grower's Guide, we start with taking a look at soil moisture. We've had a lot of rain the last week and a half. Latest numbers from the Iowa Department of Agriculture says topsoil now 2% adequate compared to where it was. We'll show you the drought map coming up. 39% adequate, 38% short, and 21% very short. So the numbers have gone up almost to the surplus category just with this rain we've had the last week or so. Our next slide talks about the corn crop. 92% out of the field now, 6 days ahead of 2023, 2 weeks ahead of the 5-year average. Haven't had a lot of opportunity to get in the field, though, the last few days. And guess what? More of the same. We have more rain for the weekend. Let's begin our graphics weather-wise with our harvest forecast. We'll be dry for Friday. The clouds will continue to build in, though. That's the good news, but more moisture is on the way Saturday, later morning into the afternoon through Sunday midday. Drought monitor last week. Notice the change here. Much of eastern and northeast Iowa in the severe drought. Latest data released this morning, 7:30, says now just moderate drought for much of the state. Dry south of Iowa City and down towards the Iowa-Missouri border. Here's how we're looking so far for November. We're already 1.9 inches above normal for Cedar Rapids. Dubuque 1.3 above Iowa City and 1.9 in Waterloo, with more to come. Precipitation as a whole, we've added it up over the last 6 days, and there you see the numbers on our calendar. Most of it coming last Sunday, on average about almost 2/10 of an inch. High temperatures 50s and 60s. We've been above normal since we started the brand new month, and we look to stay that way. And our low temperatures, we've had some cool times, starting the month on the 27-degree mark for last Friday. 40s and 50s, and we'll look to do more of the same. We've been talking about that moisture chance for the weekend. There you see the next 7 days, widespread quarter to half inch of rain. Some spots could see up to an inch of rain in far eastern Iowa. Of course, we'll keep tracking that for you and let you know what you can plan on in your first alert forecast. That is your latest Growers Guide. As always, more details at kcrg.com.
Now, strong winds could fuel 2 large wildfires that are already burning out in California. They have burned 14,000 acres and forced about 14,000 people to evacuate. Here behind me, you can see the mountain fire. It is burning just outside of Los Angeles.
Several people are hurt so far, and several buildings, including homes, have been destroyed. CNN's Cheryl Hubbard reports on the warning to residents tonight.
Forecasters say powerful winds and dry conditions are creating a, quote, life-threatening situation.
This fire is moving dangerously fast.
The Ventura County Sheriff's Office made 14,000 contacts Wednesday in an effort to get residents to flee.
You can find yourself quickly trapped. So we encourage you, when you get the notification, please leave.
While officials are warning residents, don't be a hero, one father-son team ignored that warning.
We're burning.
Dude,
right
look
here.
at you. Your shirt is singed.
All 3 of these houses would be gone if we weren't here.
But fierce winds are making the job of firefighters more difficult, with wind gusts of 40 to 50 miles per hour expected across the area early Thursday.
It's so windy, you can't keep your hat on, and it's blowing the fire like crazy.
Red flag warnings, which warned residents of dangerous fire weather conditions, were in place for an estimated 25 million people, including the Los Angeles area Thursday. Southern California's main electric provider cut off power intentionally overnight to about 70,000 customers as a precaution.
The reality is that with everybody running their generators around here, there's far more risk of a fire starting from the generators than there is from PG&E's power lines.
In Ventura County, the mountain fire burned through a football field worth of land every 4 seconds Wednesday.
Every helicopter, every fixed-wing aircraft, everything we've been able to get a hold of is here fighting this fire.
I'm Cheryl Hubbard reporting.
Forecasters say powerful winds and we are in a different spot here. In Cuba, cleanup is underway after Hurricane Rafael slammed the region. This is video of the damage in Havana, where more than 50,000 people took shelter from the storm. Rafael made landfall yesterday as a Category 3 hurricane in western Cuba, knocking out the country's power grid, downing trees and damaging buildings. So far, there are no reports of anyone hurt or killed, but of course, it's still a little bit early. Here's Rafael as he stands at this point in the Gulf of Mexico, showing some signs of strengthening later this afternoon. You see a little bit more symmetrical, more circular, that eye a little bit clearer with those bright pink cold clouds surrounding it. Maximum sustained winds of 105 miles per hour makes it a strong Category 2 storm. It is moving west-northwest at about just 9 miles per hour. However, it is not going to go very far. We are expecting things to begin to weaken as we go over the next little while, becoming a Category 1 storm within a couple of days. And then by this weekend, we're talking about a storm that is more like a strong tropical storm and diminishing further from there. It doesn't look like it will threaten land as any sort of intense tropical system anytime soon.
And as we dive into your 9-day forecast for an in-depth look Friday, we are again watching for that potential for a little bit of fog in the morning. What you need for that to happen is that you need a nice calm night with clear skies, and then you also need for a cool night where the temperature can fall close to the dew point, right? That's what we're anticipating for tonight. It's what we saw last night, and then that does allow that fog to form. So again, you'll want to be aware of that as you go through your day on Friday, especially early in the morning. It should burn off pretty quickly as we head through the afternoon. That rain does arrive again as we get through the weekend, and then we do dry out for the start of next week, but then we're going to be watching for another chance of rain to come in on Wednesday. Already showed you that we're looking at 1/4 to 1/2 an inch with that first round of rain this weekend. Could pick up another 1/4 to 1/2 an inch with this round that comes in as we get into your day on Wednesday, and that does mean for a total by the time we get to the end of your 9-day forecast, we could be looking at about another inch of rainfall. As we get into your day on the timing for that system, there's your weekend system rolling through. We are going to be quiet for the first part of the week, but then again, watch as we get into the day on Wednesday. That next storm system does work its way through, and then it sticks around through the afternoon Wednesday, gets out of our area by Thursday though, and then the rest of your 9-day does look dry, and those temperatures pretty consistent. Highs in the 50s, lows in the 30s and 40s.
Yeah, pretty typical early sort of November stuff, even a bit on the warm side still.
I would say so, yeah. It's Certainly at the time of year, though, where, like we said, even with it being warmer than average, still feels pretty nice out, like it should in fall.
Yeah, no, tomorrow sounds like an excellent day. And we will be back here tomorrow night one more time this week for First Alert Weather Now. Thanks for joining us tonight. Have a good rest of the night.